Hey, what's up guys? It's Frankie and we're at the world famous, not really, Saarbrücken Duck Pond. I got the Heidi Bee and the Zelda Bee with me. And I want to share a secret with you guys especially for the long term, profitably selling local SEO and AdWords and Facebook design and web design, these local kind of services that usually for a lot of you guys are your bread and butter. So you may not know this. There is a hidden secret number in your business that not enough people pay attention to. And it's not the one most people think, by the way. The number most people think it is your sales. And so you see this when the gurus post the screenshots of money. Look how many money I collected. And the single biggest determiner of your long-term success, by the way, Heidi B's afraid of the wind. I don't really know how to help her because there's gusts of wind right now. And it is how long your clients stay. And if you think about this in terms of just like basic math, nobody talks about this, but the average agency service in our niche has clients stay exactly 3 months. Sometimes 4. It's between 3 and 4 depending on where you look and which service. And in our mastermind, one of the things I'm really proud of is most of the people are keeping their clients for like 2 and longer years. And if person A is selling a service that lasts for 3 months and person B is getting clients for 2 years, no one really tells you that person A actually has to make 8 sales to make the same amount of money as the person who just keeps clients. So the actual single biggest long-term health indicator of your agency is how long your clients stay. We got some books and we got some wind. Heidi, where are the duckies? So how do you get actually people to stay longer? And I'll tell you the biggest reason people don't stay is not what people think it is. Usually they'll say it's you're not getting any results. And certainly results are important, right? Like if you don't get anything done, people aren't going to stay. But I'll tell you the biggest reason people leave is actually because of expectations. And I had this explained to me really brilliantly by a lawyer one time who said, if clients come to me, they have no idea how much amount of money they are supposed to get. They've never been through this experience. They don't know what to expect. They don't know how much communication. They said, if I tell them I think I can get them $15,000 and I get them 10, they think I'm the biggest idiot in the world. But if I tell them I think I can get them 10 and we end up getting 20, then I'm a hero. And look how smart my lawyer is because he got me all this money. There's some kid action for you, some cuteness. So I learned this the hard way, by the way, when I had a lawyer, a plastic surgeon I was doing some SEO for. We called him the cue ball because he was a bald guy who specialized in hair restoration. And he was in New York City, and I remember he was starting on like the 20th page, so he had no help whatsoever. And in New York City, like looking at it realistically, it's just an extremely competitive space. I figured it would probably take us 1.5 years to actually get him ranked. And lo and behold, after 2 months, I had him number 3 for one of his main keywords. So he asked me to call him, and I called him up, and I said, hey, guess what? We already got you number 3. And I was expecting some high fives and some salutes and some red carpet. And I'll never forget his answer, which was something along the lines of, yeah, well, when the hell am I going to be number 1? And grumpy, and just hung up the phone. And I was really put off by it. And I probably had that experience from like 2007 to 2012, just like repeatedly, and just thought everybody was stupid and didn't understand SEO. Until I had a really big breakthrough and realized, talking to some of my other agency owner friends, that it was actually an issue of expectations. Because they were sold the idea, we're going to get you to number 1. So anything other than number 1 in weeks was not a win. And it wasn't until I started doing things like saying, hey, you're number 27 for this keyword, and that's your most important keyword. And what I'd like to do next month is just inch you forward. So if we could get you from 27 to 24, it's a marathon. We just got to keep moving forward. And so whenever I would get them to 21, they would go, wow, it's working. And so when you're selling kind of intangible goods, like we are, it's actually so underrated to constantly be setting and resetting expectations. And especially in the beginning, because a lot of our services are not instant quick fixes, and people buying them often are expecting or hoping for a quick fix. is you got to set the expectation for what's happening. So this is something you got to do again and again. And I would say you actually want to communicate proactively instead of waiting for clients to request a monthly report or to wait till the end of the month. Is you want to play offense on that. And what you'll find is when you get good at setting the expectations, and you actually keep people for far longer, and your agency becomes a lot more profitable. I had a good friend of mine, Peter, who I'm going to see in Mexico in a couple weeks, and Peter built the largest ad agency in Eastern Europe. And he's, young kid, kicking ass with it. And one of the things that happened for him is when he started getting to like almost 200 grand a month, he had all these clients complaining about the results. And so he went out of his way and hired the best Facebook ads people he could possibly find. And he doubled his cost of delivery and dramatically shrunk his profit margins because he wanted to give the best. And after 2 months of giving the best and increasing results, they like doubled their client results, including doubling their cost. Same complaints. And it took him many, many years, like it took me many years, to realize it was actually an issue of expectations. So if you want to get good at actually selling your services for the long term, do not get caught in the idea that it's all about sales, 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 and marketing. And I'm not saying there isn't a place for that, but I compare it to your sales are like the engine on your airplane. And the retention, how long you keep people, the most important number is like the wings on your airplane. And if you're only sales, what happens is you create, it's like a boulder with a really big engine. It'll take off because it's got enough power, but as soon as you let off the gas, it smashes back down into the ground. I don't know if you guys have seen those glider planes that can glide for a long time. That's what having retention is like, is it just a little push and it glides for a long, long time. So when you combine those two things, you actually build a real airplane that'll fly you anywhere in the world you want to go. And that's what you should seek to have long term. So the single biggest number that you should actually be paying attention to if you want to be in business for a long time is not your sales, but how long people are staying with you. So I hope that sheds some light into those of you guys who like me, have families and are not just looking to make a quick buck, but actually want to do this. Because I know nobody posts a screenshot when they get payment number 15 from a client. You just don't do that, right? It's always payment number 1, sign somebody new, and I understand that's really exciting. But if you don't understand this metric, you'll be one of the agency owners spinning their hamster wheels okay with people leaving after 90 days and working way too fucking hard on your sales when you could be working on your retention, which makes your sales whole so much easier. So wanted to share that with you guys. And if you're not already subscribed, make sure to subscribe. And may the force be with you. Heidi B, it's just the wind.